Okay. Yes, I know. Rate, review, and subscribe. I know what to tell them. It's not like I've not done it before. Crikey. Sorry, I've just excused myself from the bi-monthly billowing hilltop board and management meeting. It's all a bit fraught, as you can imagine. Cuthbert's disappearance is still a bit of a sore spot, especially with Burble, who feels rather abandoned. Alessandra is simply refusing to sit next to Bugraft. Something about the smell, I think. And, well, those ouch-splintered gems have left a bit of a hole in the budget, and it's having a knock-on effect in our location choices. And don't even get me started on magic distribution. Anyway, one thing we do agree on is our need to be more environmentally friendly. So Bugraft is doing his bit by reducing his carbon footprint. He's avoiding travelling too far in the direction of any combat. Sessions is being conscious of not healing just anyone who asks for it. Parker has promised to keep his questions to a minimum. Burble lives in a bin in the woods, so he's pretty much doing all he can already. From a corporate perspective, we have promised to upcycle at least 20% of the content that hits the editing room floor. So I just need to press this. Go on, please work.
5, 10, 15, 20.
Party pooper.
Yellow mold has eaten the rogue. Yellow mold has eaten the rogue. Yellow mold has eaten the rogue.
Hapless. Again.
Which is why I should never be allowed near GarageBand or Sharp Things. It really does help us if you rate, review, and subscribe on your podcast app of choice, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, or whatever. So without any further creativity on my part, let's get on with episode 49, Meet on the Ledge.
Uncle Buggy won the Wand of the War Mage,
Which is really good.
which is pretty good if you cast an attack spell. Well, spells with an attack roll, and then you lent it to
Yes.
sessions. But then, what was anything ever then formalised about that?
Yeah,
or is that
when-
how things are?
Bugraft got the
Trident. The trident of not having to go near the enemy.
Okay.
Cool.
Oh well, that's cool.
It's a bit low.
Well, it depends how you...
Good evening, everybody.
you throw. Good evening.
Yeah.
Yeah, hello.
I think the genius of that swap, of course, was I'm not sure I ever won that item, but never mind.
Good evening, reader. Good evening, reader. Your usual place is ready. Dan, Lucas, if you just scooch up a bit,
Hello.
squeeze yourself
No,
in.
see, that's why I get here first.
Our reader has got to have a place to
Get a
sit,
comfy seat.
otherwise they're not going to... Exactly, otherwise they've got to sit, listen to us for however long. Where were we? Who's going to do the recap? Can anybody remember where we were? Whose turn is it?
It's not my
We're in
turn.
the
I did it
sewers.
last time.
I think... Who did it last time?
Me. Or rather, I didn't, but I did.
Haven't we completed the cycle and you've got to start rolling again?
Yeah.
I'm more than happy to roll to see who has to do it first. Okay, I'm going to roll D10, going round the table from my left to my right. Rolling an 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It is Uncle Buggy himself. It is Johnny. Who
I was worried you were going to say that. 'Cause, like,
We all were.
I'm not joking. I can't quite remember.
Didn't do your
what
homework.
we did.
You didn't do
Okay, I'll
dog ate it.
I'll save you
Went
your
down a-
blushes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
keep it simple. Keep it simple.
So
please.
we fought the doppelgangers. On the leader of the doppelgangers, we found a note which indicated that there was something in that they were under orders, and it gave a clue to the location of the Mindflayer, which we think was in the sewers. So we came down to
Yes.
the sewers.
And did we possibly go and speak to Marzana in between?
Marzana?
Is that not the right name? Or am I in
Eligos.
the wrong-
No, Eligos.
Eligos.
Well done.
So who's
See?
Marzana?
You see?
Bonus
you.
Ort dice is getting ever closer to the
Um,
first player to remember anything of our epic story.
So this sewer probably links up to the doppelganger den.
The
The
doppelganger
doppelganger gang den. It does.
Ding gang gully 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 gotcha.
Doppelganger. No. You were in the sewers because you were on the trail of this mysterious figure. You think a mind flayer that may have been the puppet master behind the doppelgangers that tried to kill you. And you have found in the sewers an opening into a cavern area that was surrounded by this fungus that Uncle Buggy and a couple of others of you noticed on the feet of a couple of your assailants in the last encounter. And Alessandra Probe 1 has kind of nosed her way into this cavern, gingerly started working away across this patch of beggar's gold yellow fungus, and discovered that it's mixed with another kind of fungus, yellow mold.
Yellow mold.
Oh, you don't want to go in there. You don't want to do that.
Well, I already have.
So that's a problem because she has triggered a cloud of spores. Also, at the same time as she did that, the sewer to either side of the rest of you who are waiting outside the cavern went dark, both to the east and to the west. You're at you've come out and you've turned into the top of a T-junction. So you've got east and west, and both ends are dark. You could go back the way you came, heading south. And then you have another complicating factor, which is at the moment that Alessandra triggered the yellow spores, some kind of magical effect sprang into being around her, a kind of purple lilac-y radiance. And she heard the sound of a crossbow, at least one crossbow or two, being cocked up in the darkness to her northeast as the cavern that she's in sort of tapers down into a little passageway, tunnel kind of thing. Right. So where we need to start is, so obviously we're dealing with people or something that has got readied actions. We've got lots of things to get through before we roll initiative. And the first two things we need to get through are Alessandra's saving throws. So, Paul.
Yes.
Where would you like to start? Would you like to start with saving against the yellow mold spores, or would you like to start with saving against the weird magical effect?
Let's start with the spores.
Okay, let's start with the spores. So, you need to make a Constitution save, DC 15, please. And I don't think I'm being melodramatic when I say that you
Need to make this.
best make it.
Really want to make that.
Oh dear, that's not good.
Can I just say 3 words right now? Shit on it.
So that's a roll and a half there.
No, it wasn't even half a roll.
Yeah.
If you've got an Ort dice, you'll have an Ort dice.
I have an Ort dice. Can I use my Ort dice?
Yes, of course you can use your Ort dice. You have
All
it
right.
is just refreshed because we're at the beginning of a new session.
So I'll roll this again. I'll roll a d20 at 3. And there's just no point doing
Five,
anything.
roll
Because I can only get
Even
an
worse.
11.
So that's a 5, and you could roll a d6. You're not going to make it.
No,
Okay,
not gonna make it.
Alessandra, you take the following damage as the spores zap you.
Yes.
You take 2d10 poison damage. That's the first thing that happens. Here we go. That's a total of
Oh, dear.
10 and 9.
Oh.
19 points of poison damage.
2d10.
Not 2d10. Well, I am rolling the blue dice. You see, this is the thing about these dice. And then you are poisoned, Alessandra, for 1 minute.
Oh.
You feel like while you're poisoned, you may be taking more damage in the future.
Great.
So you have disadvantage on all attack rolls and ability checks.
Mm-hmm.
And you feel like the yellow mold poison has not finished its work on you.
That's great.
That is not great. But let's not dwell on it. Let's move on to the other saving throw.
Which is much worse.
Could you now please make a DC 12 dexterity save, please? Yeah, against this weird effect.
A save, because I actually rolled a 22.
Okay, so you saved, which means that you're not affected, or this weird radiance spreads all around you, and it seems to cling to everything around you, but you shrug it off. Yeah,
Glitter dust.
it's not so much like a kind of glittery effect; it's more like a kind of radiant, flickery, flamey
Oh, I know this one.
light effect,
Fairy fire.
Very far.
possibly.
So it means people get advantage when they're hitting.
Yes.
Now, but you feel like you shrugged that off.
Right.
Now, I think that is enough, and we should roll for
Right.
initiative. And I'm going to roll for me. Let's go around the numbers. So first of all, let's have Bugraff. What do you get? 17 for Uncle Buggy. Alessandra,
Alessandra gets 11.
Parker.
5.
Oh dear. Okay. Burple.
14.
14 for Burple. And Sessions.
22.
22 for Sessions. From your point of view, Sessions, since you're tucked back down the sewer tunnel, you kind of hear, I don't know what you hear. You might hear a kind of sound as the spores are released. You might hear a sort of magic-y noise as the magic was released.
Yeah.
You probably hear Alessandra coughing and, and obviously in some distress. That's it.
And what do I see left and right where this darkness has materialized?
Usually darkness.
Just darkness.
Just darkness. After about looking right, so looking east, there's about 30, 40 feet of sewer passage before it gets dark. Looking west, it's a little bit further. It's about 40 feet, about 20, 30 feet past the entrance to the cavern, which is slightly offset from where you are.
I'm going to move into the sewer.
Ugh.
Well, along the
path,
pathway, the towpath. And then, how difficult is crossing the? Does crossing the sewer look at the?
It doesn't look difficult. The material that is flowing past you, I won't be specific.
It's unpleasant.
Bugraft is in it, up to his chest, I would say, but then Bugraft is only about 3 foot tall. So it's kind of just under the waist high on Burple, if that. I would have said you'd be fine. You could jump into it and you could slosh around in it with no trouble.
I'm going to move up to roughly where Bugraft is, pass him in the sludge, and land myself on the bank at the other side into the cavern mouth. And I'm going to invoke duplicity. I'm going to invoke the shadow version of myself. That's my action.
Yes.
Up near the purple magical effect.
Okay, so just you can't see Alessandra, but
No, I can't see Alessandra, but I can't get that close.
you're going to project yourself, as it were.
Closer.
Projected image. Get closer. Okay. Alessandra, shrinking out of the corridor up to your northeast, comes a crossbow bolt. And
Thank you.
Can you give me a perception check, please? Bear in mind that you're rolling at disadvantage.
10. And the second one, well, it's worse. It's 7.
You can't make out your assailant. You can see up this passageway to your northeast. Yes, you can see that the right-hand side of the passageway,
Mm-hmm.
it seems to be like some sort of banking, like there's a sort of slope, perhaps, and you think there may be a shelf
Okay.
up to the right, and it's dark up there. It's sort of at the limit of your dark vision. Whatever is up there that's firing at you, you can't make it out, but a crossbow bolt swoops out of the darkness at you, and I roll a 7, hitting armor class 14.
It's a miss.
Is a miss. And then you hear a bit of a sort of scuffle, and another one arcs out at the same point. Now this, I think I'm going to give you another opportunity to spot your assailant. Can you give me another perception check?
At disadvantage.
Oh, hello.
26 and 20.
There is a figure there. There's a creature. You saw some strange, sort of almost purple, dark-skinned figures with very pale hair and loose, dark clothing, accompanying the Mindflayer when you were all
Yes.
running for your lives.
True.
That reminds me.
It might be one of them. You think it's just effectively up on a sort of, perhaps a little cliff, about 15 feet up. If the passageway roof is about 20 feet up, this thing is about 15 feet up, and it's clearly on a sort of mezzanine or a sort of ledge, and it's popped itself round the corner and take a shot at you from the shadows. Yep, but you spotted it. Let's see if it hits you. Rolling another 7, getting another 14, which is another miss.
The extent of the yellow mold is it that can I run past Alexandra and try and avoid it?
The carpet of yellow fungus on the ground, you're not sure how much of it is the dangerous type and how much of it is the benign type. Clearly, Alessandra has stepped on a patch of the dangerous type. So it might be more to do with whether or not you could find a way across that didn't involve triggering a release of spores, rather than running so fast that you are not affected by them.
Okay, so if I moved half speed, would I be able to?
If you move at half speed, I would say you could have an investigation check or a perception check. I'm not particularly fussed which is which. I'd say a perception check to kind of navigate your way through and tell one kind of fungus from another, especially since everything's very well lit. All of this fungus is now glowing because of this weird magical effect around Alessandra.
Can I hold my breath? Do you think like covering my mouth is going to make any difference?
You might earn yourself advantage on the saving throw. So give me a perception check.
I'm a hobbit. I re-roll. That was a
yes, you rolled a 1. Yep. That's more like it. Okay, you can pick your way through the fungus without stepping in an area that looks like the area that Alessandra has stepped on. You think you can I think you can determine one type of fungus from the other and avoid the bad stuff.
Okay, so I'm just on the other side of the yellow mold.
Okay, so you just make it to the other side of the yellow mold and you avoid all the dangerous bits.
And as a bonus action, I'm raging.
Okay. Is that it for you?
Yeah.
Burple?
Burple's going to go invisible and moved into the room.
You just move into the cave, okay, and then now we get to Alessandra. Alessandra, what do you want to do? You don't feel very well.
Does Sessions have anything that could cure me of this?
Well, I think so.
At the beginning of your turn, first of all, we need to apply some more damage, I'm afraid.
Okay.
And that damage is... Don't worry, it's not 2d10. It's 3d10.
3d10.
No, it escalates by 1 at a time.
Shit.
It's another... it's another 10 points of damage. I don't know what to say.
Sorry, normally.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not sorry. I'm delighted, but I just, I'm just sort of amazed by the dice rolls. Okay, anyway, it's another 10 points of poison damage.
Thank you,
Alessandra. Now, yes, what would you like to do with your?
I'd like to do the same kind of deal that Johnny's done, which is to make my way back across this mold field towards Sessions.
Mm-hmm.
So perception check, I believe.
Yeah, you need to make a perception check at disadvantage.
Okay.
In order to avoid the areas of danger.
So first one is 14. Would that be enough?
Yeah. Well, let's find out when you
second
roll
one
the
is
dice.
going to be 25.
Yeah, you think now that you've triggered a patch of yellow mold that you can tell one from the other. And it's very well illuminated by this weird magical effect. So yes, you can, at half speed, you could pick your way back towards the sewers.
Well, I'm going to go and pick my way back towards and stand next to Sessions.
Okay, fine.
Red Sessions?
Red Sessions.
Alessandra, you get to make another saving throw at the end of your turn against this effect. It's a Constitution save, DC 15.
Constitution save.
Oh, not enough. Okay, so you're still going to be poisoned in your next action.
I'm just thinking about using my elemental attunement. I can briefly control elemental forces, harmless sensual effects, light or snuff a campfire.
Mm-hmm.
So that must be enough flame to light a square in front of me.
Yes, you think you could probably torch one square of fungus in front of you, yep.
Per round or what?
I would have thought per action, yes.
I will move up to the first, to where one of the first squares of yellow mold is in the corridor.
Yeah.
And then I will basically torch the square in front of me.
Got it. Okay, so you're clearing a path.
Yes.
Sessions, round 2.
How wounded is Alessandra?
Alessandra's got 26 out of 55 remaining.
That's not too bad.
That's not too shabby at all.
Half.
No.
I keep forgetting that you're all really irritatingly going up levels as a result of...
Doing things.
Obviously, Toll the Dying on Alessandra's not going to work, so I better do something helpful.
Well, I mean, it might work if you do enough damage.
No, I don't think I can quite do enough. So instead, I will...
Push her into the yellow mold again.
No. I will instead do, through Red Sessions, Lesser Restoration on Alessandra, which will end one condition or disease and I think poisoned is the condition.
Nice. I love it.
So that's what I will do.
That's why you hire a cleric. Okay.
Why you hire it. Thank you.
Uncle
I-
Buggy.
Very much appreciated. It shall be
Uncle
repaid.
Buggy.
And I'm actually sorry.
I-
At the end of my move, I'm going to shuffle 5 foot further forward.
Okay. Uncle Buggy. No, it wasn't your go I'm talking about, Uncle Buggy. I'm talking about you're being targeted. First thing that happens, Uncle Buggy, is another instance of this fairy fire magical effect springs up around you.
Okay, do I get a save?
You do. Can you make a DC 12 dexterity save, Uncle Buggy?
Okay, I roll an 11.
Getting an 11. Okay, you are glowing, Uncle Buggy.
Okay.
You're shedding dim light in a 10-foot radius.
Okay.
Yep. And then some crossbow bolts shoot out of the darkness from above and to your northeast, up on this, what you can only presume is some kind of shelf or ledge at the side of the passageway. Here they come. The first one, at advantage, it seems to be, hitting armor class 20.
Yes.
So that first one does a D6 plus 4 damage. It does 6 points of piercing damage. And can you make a DC 13 Constitution save, please?
Okay, because I'm raging, I only take half that.
Okay, so 3 points of piercing damage. And then can you make a DC 13 Constitution save?
20.
Oh, so you absolutely aced it. The second attack, at advantage again. Oh, well, I'm not going to need to roll. Armor class 24.
Yeah.
So you take another 9 points of piercing damage. So in your case, 4 points of piercing damage.
Yeah.
And you've got to make another DC 13 Constitution save.
And then 11.
And 11 is not enough. You are poisoned, Bugraft. You don't take any extra damage, but you are on a disadvantage in all attack rolls and ability checks. Something nasty on those crossbow bolts.
Okay.
And it's your turn.
Okay, as I move forward, does it look like the glow is following me?
It does.
You're a happy, shiny person.
I'm heading towards whoever's shooting.
Right, give me a perception check.
21.
And you're holding a light spell on a pebble, if I remember correctly. So you've got 20 foot.
I'm glowing anyway, aren't I?
Well, you're only glowing with dim radiance for about 10 feet. But I'm just going to reveal a little bit more passageway. Yeah, so you can see a little bit further up. You can see that the passageway that you're going up, which is heading northeast, it seems to turn north. And you can see that it sort of opens out and perhaps there's some sort of divide a little bit further up in the dimness. Again, by then it's the dim light from your light spell, so it's a bit difficult to make out. The other thing that you can tell is that to your right there is effectively a little cliff, and above you there's some sort of ledge or shelf, and you can see some figures tucked away. They're about 15 feet above you. They're in a great position if they're able to pepper you with crossbow bolts from up there on their ledge.
I'm going to keep going past them.
Okay.
So I've moved 30, 35. That's one. There's no little staircase or ladder or anything obvious way up.
No, nothing.
Okay. So I'm doing another move action. I keep moving forward.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And you can see that this passageway splits out. It looks like where it looked like it was splitting, it is actually dividing around some sort of column or something that's breaking open, that's breaking up a broader, more open space, and you can hear the sound of running water. The passageway is sloping slightly as well, sloping slightly down as you're padding along it, and there is a sort of gentle sound of running water. It's not a fast-flowing stream. It doesn't sound like the sewers. It sounds like a natural underground little streamlet or brook. Also ahead of you, you can see, so you're looking into this chamber as it opens up. The extent of the bright light from your light spell, you've got some dim light. The dim light shows you that this chamber opens up, but you can't make out details. But what you can make out, not from any specific point, is that somewhere up ahead of you, there is a sort of faint, pale green glow. And give me a perception check.
8.
Okay, it's difficult to say where that's coming from, but it seems to sort of ripple a little bit, this green glow.
So it's behind a waterfall.
Well, I mean, yeah, that's not a bad... Okay, so it wasn't a great perception check, but your
What's my
44
vast
years
experience?
of D&D experience has got you. Yeah, you think that there's something, must be an interaction between whatever pale light source this is and the water in there that means that the light is slightly kind of ripply. Anything else from Buggy?
Yes. Did I see what creatures were on the ledge? All right.
You could just know, well, unfortunately, because it's like a sheer cliff thing that goes up 15 feet. You're only 3 foot tall and you're looking up. They're tucked back away. So you couldn't make out more than just shadows.
Okay, well, I keep moving. So I'm going right round to the right branch.
Yeah, I can see that.
The little
Yeah,
where it splits.
I understand. Yes. And you can see, as you enter this chamber a little bit further, that there is a stream that is leading away from a pool in the northeastern sort of part of this chamber. Again, you can't make out all of it because
Any
of your...
hostiles?
You can't see anything. It looks like water is welling up or filling. It's like maybe a natural aquifer or spring or something that seems to be filling or bubbling up into some kind of pool in front of you. You can't see all of the pool. You can only see the edge of it. This is where the pale green light is coming from, by the way. And that a stream is running away down past you and off into the rock as this pool empties.
Any obvious like little passageway or
No, it looks like that there...
thing up to the ledge? You know, like a passageway that goes right back round. So
Nothing like that,
access
no.
to the ledge.
Nothing like that, no.
The people on the ledge wouldn't be able to hit me where I am at the moment. I've gone round the corner.
Yeah, you've got around a corner. You can't see the ledge or the edge of it anymore. That's right.
Okay, all right. That's my go. Very slow and inefficient.
No, that's fine. That was a good go. I liked that. I enjoyed it very much, especially the middle bit. Burple.
I'm going to move to the edge of the mould and tie a rag
rag
around
around
my mouth in anticipation of moving across it next round.
Got it. Next, it is Alessandra. Alessandra, you're no longer poisoned, so you don't take any damage. What would you like to do?
Did Sessions take the Wand of Cure Moderate Wounds?
Cure light wounds, I think it was. Yes, I do have that.
It's a
item.
wand of cure wounds. It's one
cure wounds, yeah.
charge. Depending upon the number of charges you use, it does a different amount of healing.
I'm going to ask Sessions politely if I could have some healing, and that's what I'll wait for.
Parker, you're going to burn another 5 foot worth of mould.
If I jump over this mold, is it possible for me to avoid?
If you jump all the way over the mould, then you can't possibly trigger its, yeah.
So basically I move 10 feet into that square that I'd cleared.
Yes. And then you've got about
And
another
then that's 25.
15, 20 feet's worth of mould to get through.
And then I jump to there,
Okay.
right over it.
Yeah, I like it.
And it's possibly one key point. Now, when I get to the other side, so now this ledge, do I get a better view of the guys up on the ledge?
Can you give me a perception check?
That's a 4. That's not going to make it, is it? That's
You can make out, potentially you could possibly make out some sort of something that might be a shadow of a person up there. You definitely, even a range attack, you'd be attacking at disadvantage.
Well, I'll
This is kind of
give it a go.
Partial
How
obscure.
far away from me are they?
Let's call it 40 feet. You're basically, are you trying to produce flame and throw it?
Yes.
You're basically
They're 30
pick it-
feet.
yeah, you're
it's out of
30
range.
feet. Okay, so you can't. Okay, fine.
Well, in that case, I move up on through the passage following Bugraft and then to the narrow part of the passage.
Yeah. So you're at the base of this sort of cliff, as it were, leading up to the ledge.
And have I got a better view of where these crossbow guys
I mean, it's
are?
a sheer wall that's 15 foot tall, and you're
Right.
standing at the base of it.
Yeah, but I mean,
So,
I've now
no, not
moved
really.
40 foot towards them. So are they now directly above me?
Yes, they're directly above you. You can sense them above you. If one of them was to lean over, you would be able to see them very clearly. But whilst they're on the ledge and you're in the passageway beneath them, you can't see anything.
Right, that's fine. No, I understand that now. Okay.
And we move on to Sessions on 22 at the beginning of round 3.
Alessandra's looking at Sessions with slightly pleading eyes.
Well, I will. I'm not sure whether I can use the one through the alternative sessions.
I doubt it. I think there's anything that's physically has to be physically present, right? The alternative sessions is just in a
So I can
projection.
cast spells through it, though.
Yeah, but you couldn't hit with a sword that the alternative sessions was
But
pretending
isn't
to
a
hold.
wand a spell completion item?
I think it might be in Pathfinder.
Or
Could be.
the alternative is you move 5 foot.
I think
Yeah,
the wand has got to be physically present.
In that case, I'll have to shuffle forward 5 feet.
I'm really sorry to cause you such
Such
trouble.
inconvenience. I will tap Alessandra with the wand. She's becoming very expensive, I notice, in terms of resource. I'm just noting that down.
It's fine. I'm noting things down as well.
Sessions with his clipboard.
Yeah, little notes, little chip.
Oh, I've got a little black book.
And I will give him 2 touches with the wand.
And what does that give?
It'll be 2d8 plus 3. I'm giving him a good rodding.
It's 2d8 plus 3. Very nice. Thank you very much indeed.
Very nice.
16
Okay,
points
that is-
back.
Is that it for you, Sessions?
No, then I'm going to shuffle on into the square that's been vacated. I will step cautiously forward for my final 2 spaces of movement and
me a
make my
perception
perception check.
Yep.
So
Which you make an advantage, you
I
know
do.
full well with your shield of...
I get 14 plus 3 and 17.
17 is plenty. You can pick your way through the dangerous stuff. Parker, a dark shadow kind of looms above you, Parker,
Yes.
and you are shot at
Yeah.
from pretty close range from above you. Hitting armor class 17 is not going to be enough,
Is a
am I right?
miss. Yes.
And then another one hits armor class... Sorry, that last one hit armor class 19, but anyway, this one hit armor class 17. Still a miss.
No. It's a miss.
And then the final one hits armor class nothing. Absolutely hopeless. Okay,
Hey.
you hear a voice, a voice above you go, "Oh, bollocks."
Yes.
Bugraft.
Yeah.
Can you give me a perception check?
Yes, I roll a 13.
13. You think you can make out the sounds of some motion, something off to your west. So you've been travelling steadily to the northeast up this passageway that it's opening out into a cavern. You're not, you think that you might be able to hear something to your west, giving you the impression that this cavern that's opening up to the north of you may open up further out to your west, makes it basically take a big left turn from where you are. And you think you can hear some motion. The other thing, though, is that you just think you picked up a sort of faintest suggestion of a bit of a kind of ripple in this pool just in the cavern in front of you that isn't based upon the normal flowing of the water, like something might have moved in that water.
A water weird.
Who knows?
Am I correct?
Who knows? It is your... Well, we're about to find out.
44 years of experience.
It is your action.
Okay. Right, I'm going back the other
You're
way.
going to go back towards Parker and then...
Run away!
No, I'm just going the other way around the other passageway. Can I jump over the stream?
Yeah. It's just a little 2-3 foot screen.
I am now heading west. Can you...
You think this passageway, this cavern, there's an opening that you think must be that kind of opens off to your west, as you were expecting, from where you could hear some noise.
Can I see any hostiles?
Not from where you're standing. You just see it open out. You could move a little bit further around, but you're sort of the true opening to your west is obscured by the fact that you're still tucked into that little passageway.
Okay, I've moved 35, so now I'm doing another move. I think my rage is probably finished now. Can I see further? I'm going through the little crack.
You can see a cavern that opens up in front of you. Give me another perception check.
21.
It's a vast chamber that you're running into. It must have a 40-foot ceiling, but you can see that on your right as you're running in, there's like a slope up, like a ramp that leads up to an area to the far right-hand corner of the cave as you're looking into it. So you're opening a big, wide cave, and the most of the floor is at your level, but on your right, hugging the wall, seems to be a ramp that leads up. To your left, there is a weird kind of sound and smell, and your perception check tells you that it is, in fact, weirdly, it must be livestock. Like there might be the sound of like a goat or two. And there's definitely quite a kind of high, tangy, livestocky smell. There are faint patches of moss, very, very dimly glowing moss around you. If there's more of it in the cavern, you don't know that it would be glowing brightly enough to actually kind of give you any meaningful illumination. You can't see anybody, but you do hear the sound of movement off in the darkness to your west. So you think you could your light spell's only probably showing you a part of this cavern. There's more.
Well, I've still got more movement. Can you tell me?
Move on. Yeah. Well, let's do that then. Yep.
I'm going up the slope now. But I'll obviously stop if I see some hostiles.
Well, you see some hostiles. As soon as you get to the bottom of the slope, you see a hostile. As you run into the cavern a little bit further, you notice a couple of more things. First of all, to the southern wall of the cavern, there is a barred-off passageway. It looks like there's an opening in the southern wall of the cavern, and that's actually been barred off with a sort of railings, like a cell or something, with some kind of gate built into it. You can't see past it into the gloom, but that's what you can see to your south. The slope of the passageway runs up, and as you move into the chamber a bit further, you can see one of these dark purple skinned figures. It's waiting for you in the gloom, and you reveal it as the dim illumination of your torch covers it. What do you want to do?
Well, I'm moving around and taking cover around this side passageway.
So you're throwing yourself off to the side. I'm going to give it disadvantage on its shot because you've noticed it. It was waiting, but it's waited a little bit too long. It pings a crossbow bolt at you at disadvantage because you throw yourself at the last second to the side, and I've already rolled low enough to mean that I know that I've missed you. So this crossbow bolt shoots through the place you were standing. Definitely get the sense that there's more movement, more things in the darkness behind it.
And what about this? Can I see a bit further up this little passageway that I've jumped down to?
It looks like it's going to lead back round to the main cavern.
Purple is going to make his cautious move through the stuff.
Yeah, make a perception check to move at half speed for the first few squares.
21.
21, so that's fine. You make it, you're on the other side. You can see with your dark vision, you can see Parker, you can see this passageway, you can see a 15-foot wall up to your right that seems to tip over into a shelf, and I'm thinking that you can probably see a little bit of the top of that shelf and make out the sort of edges of some dark figures. Alessandra?
Alessandra's going to do the move at half speed to a perception check, rolling a 15.
That's good enough.
I've got another square to get through, so I'll do another one.
Yeah. Oh dear.
I roll a 1.
You basically step on some mould.
Great.
It's a 10-foot square radius. It just misses Burple, but you need to make a DC 15 Constitution save.
Yes.
Which you make. So you're all right. And we move on to... That's 2 actions. You've got a cunning action if you want it. You're a rogue, aren't you?
Yes. Can I see that person there?
You've got dark vision.
I got dark vision. I can see somebody. I'm going to shoot them.
Yes, you could see it's a disadvantage. They're sort of partially obscured. There's a bit of cover going on as well. But you can take a shot at one of these shapes that you can just make out on the edge of the ledge. Yeah.
Edge of the ledge? Well, I'll just take a crossbow shot. Armor class 19.
In total is a hit.
I'm rubbish. 5 points of damage.
5 points of damage. Okay, fine. Well, you don't think that's particularly
useful in any shape or
change the game, but you've hit something. The first person to do so. You hear, ow. Parker?
How climbable is this?
It's a climb check. It's a DC 10 climb check, which even you
I'm hoping. A 9.
Getting a 9. Okay, so you fail to climb. You start trying to climb the cliff. And you don't climb.
Hapless.
Embarrassing.
Extremely.
Again.
It's embarrassing. It's just a huge moment. You're a monk.
Hold
and
on.
everything.
Is there anything I can do to...
Yeah, you can have another go with your other move action.
Sniggering going on.
Do you want to have another go?
No, I'm just wondering if there's anything I can use to make my climb...
Less embarrassing. You can do it under an assumed name.
You can succeed at it.
No. So, second climb.
Okay, give it another shot.
Oh, for God's sakes.
Okay, so you have two attempts at clambering up the cliff where you think there might be some free space.
Fucking
And you
waste of time.
do not reach that free space. And you're still where you started. Sessions on 22, the top of round 4, I think
Right.
it is.
Okay, I'm going to gingerly move through the fungi.
Yeah, give me a fungi to be with. Give me a perception check.
Ooh,
12 is enough.
No, that's adding
Oh.
2 dice together. I actually only get a 9.
A 9 is not enough. And
in
you
that case,
trigger.
I'm going to
Oh.
use my luck to roll
Oh,
again.
to roll again. Yeah.
Getting a 3.
Uh-oh.
Don't you roll at advantage again? Surely. Are you really rolling? Oh, you're re-rolling one. You get to re-roll one skill check, or do you get to re-roll one dice?
1d20. Being strictly
Okay. No, well, that's no good. So you now have to make a Constitution save, DC 15, as yellow spores erupt all around you.
8.
What does that get you?
Well, that doesn't get me 15 by any stretch of the imagination. Well, I'm going to roll that again as well.
Okay, good. How many luck uses do
I
you
have
get?
3 luck uses.
Okay.
Oh my God, Graham.
Oh,
Graham.
dear me.
Okay.
Sessions,
Graham.
you are in trouble unless you want to use your Ort dice.
No.
Okay, so you take the following poison damage. You take a total of 4. You take 7 points of poison damage, and you are poisoned.
Right. That's my move, yeah?
That's your move.
Right. So that's really annoying. So I'm going to cast Lesser Restoration on myself.
Yes, removing the
To
poison.
removing
condition.
the poison condition. I'm going to use my bonus action to move the other me, moving across the mould and up next to Alessandra.
Uncle Buggy, first thing that happens is that out of the gloom of the back of this cavern, you can see you've tucked yourself down a little side passage, which means you can't see up the slope where that figure was that took a shot at you. But you can see the little livestock pen that's just inside this main thing. And you can see the broad floor of the cavern. Stepping out from the dim light at the edge of your light spell into the cavern, smiling at you, is one of these dark purple skinned figures. She is not carrying a crossbow, at least she's not carrying a crossbow in her hand. She smiles at you, Uncle Buggy, and she raises a hand towards you and she starts to utter some kind of strange incantation.
You're doomed.
At the same time, and you kind of feel, Uncle Buggy, the dust of the cavern floor starts to kind of spiral and jigger around near your feet. And you can feel the kind of pressure in your inner ear, like there's some kind of energy or some kind of force or something working its way into the cavern around you or near you. That's the first thing that happens. Second thing that happens is that Parker, you can see up with your dark vision into the cavern that Bugraft has run through. You can see this stream and you can hear the rippling of water. You hear a displacement of water. You hear the sound of something emerging from the water, and you hear a slithering sound, and a large serpentine figure appears. You see it emerge from the pool and start to work its way over the floor and over the stream towards where you're standing. It's a dark-skinned, it's like a giant snake, but with a weird kind of elongated triangular head with a giant forked tongue, a kind of beetle brow, glowing eyes. It hisses at you, and it extends the tip of its snake tail at you, and it fires a lightning bolt at you, Parker. And we will find out about the lightning bolt and about the weird spell and about the strange figure in the cavern next week.
We're doomed. We're doomed.
We'll find out how fast people can run back across Yellow Mold.
And the other thing.
The Billowing Hilltop podcast is a Billowing Hilltop production. Dungeons & Dragons is a trademark of Wizards of the Coast. The Hall of Harsh Reflections and Age of Worms are copyright Paizo. The Hall of Harsh Reflections was written by Jason Bullman. Music is from Kevin MacLeod and Incompetech.com and is used with thanks under the Creative Commons license. Additional music and sound effects come from the wonderful Sirenscape. All other original material is copyright Billowing Hilltop. Role-playing games are all about getting people together, and we use Roll20 as our tabletop, the perfect place to host your game, and Discord to host our chat. Thanks for listening.